Okay.
So welcome, Karen. Just take to the floor and just knock us bandy.
Okay, well.
Can we put our hands together for Karen? Yay!
I'll just go now, shall I?
Oh, Karen Brown.
Right, my job is done. Right. Can I share my screen?
Yes, I'm gonna make you a host.
Woo.
Change host.
Okay.
Over to you, Karen.
Go Bennett. Right, I'm just going to share my screen because I did the old PowerPoint, so it's not quite death by PowerPoint. Come on. Okay, my computer's frozen.
Oh, I'm glad it's somebody else and not me. I'm the one who has ghosts coming in. And
God, hold on. Let me flip sake. Right, let's try that again. Come on. I have a really nice presentation here. I was at it all afternoon. Oh, for flip's sake. Okay.
Just blag it, Karen.
I'm just going to blag it. Okay, so flip. I can't even see you now because my computer's just frozen on that screen. Okay, so the really nice presentation was for me, it was just a series of questions to start off with. So the first question was basically, what is a lead? We're talking about lead magnets, but let's get very clear about what we're talking about. So what is a lead? So you guys tell me, what is a lead? And bear in mind, I can't see you.
Potential customer.
Okay.
Someone who shows an interest in you or your product. So yeah, potential customer.
Someone that may refer you to someone else.
Okay. Yep.
Yep, referrals. I would agree with that.
Okay, I think I might have it, Houston. We may, well.
Oh, cute.
Yay, lead magnets.
Yay.
So back to the beginning, right? So what is a lead? Essentially, that's it. So I kind of think of, when people talk about funnels, I kind of think of as a huge funnel where you start off with everybody on the planet. Okay, technically everybody on the planet is potentially a prospect, especially with the internet age, but an awful lot of those people don't even know you exist. So that gets you down to contacts of those people who know you exist. Not everybody will buy from you. So your leads are the people who potentially could buy from you. And that's what you're looking for. And that's why you're looking for a lead magnet. You're looking for something that will attract the people who could potentially buy from you. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And the first thing is, who do you want to attract with your lead magnet? You know, it goes back to the very beginning of who is your avatar? Who is the person that you want to attract? Know the demographics, what it is that you want, what it is they need, what it is that you can support them with, and be clear about what your business does, what they need, and that whole customer avatar. So this person needs something totally different to that person. That bug needs totally something different to that bug. You know, it's knowing your client avatar. So how do you attract your clients then? So you know what a lead magnet is. It's basically something to try and attract your lead. You have an idea of who your customer avatar is. So how do you attract them? Throwing it open.
dangle something lovely so that they just attempt it and the negative's going to come in.
So there's some clues on the computer screen here. So what? How will you attract them? So think about bees to a honey pot. Why is a bee going to a honey pot? What's it looking for?
Nectar.
Okay, why does it need nectar?
Sorry?
Why does it need nectar?
To create the honey.
Yeah. So it goes there because it's a quick and easy find. So when you're looking to attract somebody, the people you're trying to do is you're trying to solve a problem that they have. So it's a quick and easy problem. With my published course, the problem I'm solving is they don't know how to publish a book and they think it's really hard. And when you take it out of that, when people realize how easy it is, suddenly they realize they can actually do this. And then they're interested in publishing a book. Okay. So
can I ask, Karen, do you need to, is it better to know your audience, your avatar, or when you're thinking of what you're putting as a lead magnet, do you specifically put it to that avatar or your potential market rather than put it out there as a bigger thing?
For me, it's been trial and error. And as I go back to my favorite thing, I found 10,000 ways not to do business, and I've created lots of different downloads and things that didn't work. But the minute I started doing live events, people started coming, and the more people knew about them, the more they recommended them, and the more people came. So it's finding what works for you, because what works for me is not necessarily going to work for somebody else. So it's knowing your business and what it is they need. So if you're doing anxiety coaching, some tips, something quick and easy that would help them, and something just a bite-sized thing. So if you imagine you're sat outside a cake shop and there's a big queue outside and you're not sure, it looks enticing, but you're not sure about it. And somebody walks out with a tray of samplers and you sample a piece of cake and you think it's lovely. Are you going to walk in or are you going to walk out? It's basically just fishing. It's throwing the right bait out in the right waters and know the fish that you want to catch. So if you want a trout, you go into fresh water. If you want a marlin, you go into the Caribbean. You go in the big sea and you have a big boat and you have the right tackle. So it's just thinking in terms of that. So if you've got the right bait, then people are more likely to bite, if that makes sense.
Can I ask a question, Karen?
No.
I'm going to ask anyway. Do you think because of COVID, we've all been gagged? Because I know Lara, for example, and myself, we respond better. You put us in front of people to work with them, to connect with them, and we can convert sales. But when it comes to thinking, we've got, in some ways, got to digitize ourselves. We almost then become, I don't know, robotic and tend to do nothing as opposed to doing the wrong thing, as opposed to thinking, no, actually my marketing style is getting out there in front of people and still doing the getting out in front of people in person, but online.
Yeah. But this is where everybody's having to pivot. So one of the things I did was joined the different networks this year. So an awful lot of people didn't know I exist this time last year.
Yeah.
And I've literally had to go out there and put myself out there. And, for me, it was quite scary. I didn't use Zoom this time last year. I would go on a couple of people's Zoom calls and that would be about it. And the first time installing Zoom on my computer, it was like, what the hell's going on here? And all that sort of thing. So it's just getting comfortable with it. Yes, you are no longer in lockdown in the UK, but in Ireland we still are. And, we still have to do everything online. And the people who've been able to pivot are the ones that are going to go forward. It's the whole Darwin thing, the people who are most likely to adapt are the ones that will survive. And looking at how you can deliver things online, because that is going you're going to have some sort of online presence anyway, regardless, because people now expect it. They're so used to it after having a year of it and having a year of network meetings. I wouldn't imagine 4N taking their online business. I know they're going back to live meetings, but I wouldn't be able to meet half the people I would without being online. So if they decided just to do it purely online, then that would be it for me, because I couldn't do it. Where you're in Wales, if you were doing the Aspire Network program as a live event, I would physically have to travel from Leitrim over to Ireland, stay in hotels, and loads of stuff like that. Whereas I can do it from my home. I can sort of fit it in where I want to, and do it at, when's convenient. So you're doing it online, and you're telling me to turn up and show up on a specific date, and then I can do that.
Yeah.
So it's just, we're just having to adapt to it. You're still there. You're still you on the computer. Yes, it's a bit more restricted because you're only seeing this bit. And, for all I know, you've got pajamas underneath you, or a bikini bottom, or anything like that, but this is what people are seeing now, and they're kind of getting used to it.
And it's more cost effective as well.
Yeah. Well, I think for some people it will be, because I know in Ireland, each county in Ireland has an enterprise office. So when everybody had to suddenly go online, the government basically handed out money like nothing, and every business had the opportunity of getting up to £2,500 worth of money to fund 90% of your website upgrade.
Wow.
So if you wanted to do it, then they would help you, and every single county was on board with it. So every single county has their own local enterprise office that is there specifically to support local business and to grow local business. And this one for us came out of 2008 crash, where small businesses were the lifeblood of the country, and starting off small businesses rebooted the country and getting people, off the dole, creating their own business. And so for some people, it was, if they were on the dole, they would get a year's worth of dole money, plus all the business supports as they built their business. So they didn't lose anything, but they gained things, and they could access grants to grow their business. So if they needed a laptop, they would get a grant for it and get a laptop to start their business.
Wow.
So it would, over here, there's a whole different attitude towards it. And the government are very keen to support small business as much as they can. So, we're quite fortunate in that. So, a lot of businesses over here, when they knew they had to, basically the government gave them what they needed, and the enterprise officers know who to contact. And they spent millions getting people online and getting to pivot their business so that they could have a business,
That was so forward thinking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that they had a lot of, for small businesses, the original trading online vouchers were 2,500, but the grant was up to 50%, and they changed that to 90%. So if you were doing a website and you had to upgrade it, you only put 250 quid towards it, and you would get the rest back. So that was a huge incentive, because they knew it would be expensive, and it didn't matter if you'd applied for a grant before, you could apply again because of the circumstances. So they were really keen to help people any which way they could to pivot in there. And of course, an awful lot of businesses benefited, all the different media companies, all the website engineers, that they were really sort of enjoying it, because they knew what people could spend up to. So, whatever your quote was for, it was always 2,500. You just said what you wanted for it. Right. And that's what you submitted. And you just had to submit 3 people.
Are all lead magnets free?
I would say that the theory is, when I looked it up, the idea is that it is free, but for me, my books are lead magnets, because what I do is I put information in there to get people onto my website, onto my email list. So my book has a lead magnet, and it becomes a lead magnet, if that makes sense, or it becomes a place where you can find a lead magnet. So whenever you publish a book, it should have something that gets people onto your email list. Okay. So, but essentially it's a free sample that you're giving. So it comes in loads of different formats. The biggest thing is how you deliver it. Okay. There's an awful lot of technology around it, but when you break it down, there's only three things that are actually happening. You've got, if you think about what an email list is, it's just a list of email addresses. That's all it is. So you're having a computer system that says, right, give me your email address. I will store it here, and then we can play around with it. Okay. And you can give your list different names. You can have different groups within that email list. But that's all it is. It's just a list of email names. And it used to be called a Rolodex before computers came along, you know. If you think of all that sort of stuff that we did before, it's just been computerized. It was already there. We just did it in a different way. Okay. So basically, if you want to deliver that, you've got two different things. You've got a sign-up form to grab the email address. You've got some way of delivering whatever it is you promised. And then you have a follow-up sequence that you allow people to get to know you. And if you do it well, then people don't notice it. If you do it badly, then they unsubscribe because they have that option, or they don't even read your email list. But the difference between email marketing and social media marketing is, the people will actually receive what you're saying. If you do put something on social media, it depends on how well you do it as to how many people will actually see it. When you send out an email, it will be delivered. It may be delivered into your junk folder because Google haven't whitelisted it on Google. It may be that you don't read it because the subject line wasn't interesting enough to get you to do it, but it will be delivered. Okay, so this is the advantage with email over social media. And this is why I say that, the goal of social media is to get people onto your website. The goal of your website is to get people onto your email list. And that's where you start talking to people. Okay, so, and then it's the whole, how do you communicate with people afterwards? So I thought that was quite funny, because let me just see if I can get that one back. So, because sometimes it feels like we're talking a semaphore. So, but you're talking to somebody at the end of that email. You're talking to a person with a pulse, and you have to remember that. So cut out the jargon and imagine that person sat in front of you and talk to them. And if you do it right, they will talk back to you and they will reply to the email, because they're talking, it feels like you're talking to each other. Okay. So don't treat it as if you're sending out semaphore messages. Treat it like you're talking to a person. Okay. And that you've got a live blood, pumping around, heart, brain person in front of you. Okay. So one of the things that Cheryl said was she wanted 10 examples of lead magnets.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you've heard of this guy. He is quite famous. He's a guy called Donald Miller, and he's wrote several books, and he advocates this whole thing of basically what he's doing now. He's got his website is just this video, and then everything else. And his lead magnet is actually this free 60-day course. Okay, so you get access to it for free. And he's got books, So Business Made Simple, he's just published that. It's not cheap, but he's published it. But he's basically created a series of online courses around that book. And when you scroll down, he's got a free course. And when you scroll down even further, he's got different courses. So you can join his online university for $275 a year. But that's him. So he does 60 days of videos that you can do, and he sends one out each day for 60 days. So by that time, you're either bored stupid or you're in because you're following what he says. Okay. So he's really well known. Now, this guy, Jeff Walker, all hail Jeff Walker. He is fabulous. He wrote a book again, and he is a very successful multimillionaire online person. His book was called Launch. His course is about $2,500, and he's built it up as a platform. He's one of the people I base my platform on, and that's what my dream is, to get it to the point where I can charge people that much. But you can see he has a very clear, it's all about him. He's got build a business, so he's very clear about what it is that who his people are. He's got the 16 rules of internet business. So basically he's trying to target people who are looking to develop an online business. It's very clear right from the start, this is his front page, that he wants your email address. And he's got a freebie for you. And it's just very, very easy to do. And it's the first thing you see. So, and then he can do, he's generated over $1 billion in sales. And I actually believe he's done that because, the stuff that he does with other people is amazing. But he's one of the people who, I joined his course in November. He's very much an advocate of email marketing, and he's built his businesses on it. And he is the master of it. Okay. So he's brilliant. Again, Kindlepreneur, very similar. You want to sell more books? That's your problem. Here's my solution. Give me your email address and I'll tell you how to do it. Simple. It's front page. It's very obvious. It's very personable because it's about him. So he's selling it to you. And then he's got different things to help you. And it's very clear about what it does and how he's going to help. Okay. And it's very, very simple, but it's right up front in your face. Okay, now I shall no. So I went on to Hope Callahan. I'm actually reading her books at the moment. And when I went on there, as I was about to leave, this pop-up came up. And an awful lot of people do this so that as you leave, you get people's emails, and there's a free giveaway. So free and discounted books, giveaways, new releases when you subscribe to my newsletter. And in her books, at the beginning of her book and at the end of their book, she's asking you to sign up to her email, and she's telling you why to do it. So you get lots of information about her books that are coming out, and she's quite prolific. She's written about 70 different books, and she doesn't look that old to be doing either. But it's her thing is getting you on her email list, and she's an author you probably never heard of, but she's doing quite well. You may have heard of Marie Forleo. She has, so when you go onto her website, it's all about Marie, but she has the free training, and as soon as you click on it, then name, email, get it now. So very clear, that's what she wants. She's got very few pages on there. The website is very clean, but she's after your email. Okay. Any questions?
I'm just surprised how upfront people are on the homepage of their website, and it's bang, do it.
But it works.
American though, Karen.
An awful lot of these are American.
So is that an American thing, Cheryl, I wonder, rather than a British thing?
Pop-ups are American. The UK market doesn't particularly like the pop-up opt-ins.
It's Google that doesn't like the pop-ups. Google started to really hate them, and where websites had them were downgrading them because there were people finding them a bit of a nuisance. But with the Americans, bear in mind that these are millionaires. So these are millionaires who have people who can create these websites for them. Jeff Walker is way up there. You know, his books have sold tens of thousands. He's very successful on there. His book's always in the bestsellers list. And as I say, his course is $2,500. Same with Marie Forleo. Her course is $2,500. And they were the people that I based my course on because they are high quality courses that people literally queue up to buy. So Marie Forleo does her course once a year, and the rest of the year is about getting people onto her email list and priming them for when her course is released. So come February, she'll start drip feeding people that B School is about to come live, and then she'll spend February, March selling it, and then she'll go live for 8 weeks, and that's it for her for the year. So that is her whole business. Her whole business is 2 courses, and she spends the rest of the year marketing to get people on them. And she will get 10,000 people a year onto her course.
Wow.
At £2,000 a go. Okay, so she is a master at this. She did a book in 2019, I think it was, called It's All Figureoutable. She sent an email out to all the people on her list, and you can imagine it's a mega list. She sent that email out in March, and the book was released in September. She spent 6 months talking about her book and getting people onto her email list, promising bonuses that were in the book if you signed up and showed your receipt up until that time. And that book went straight into #1, New York Times, Good Morning America, whatever it is. All those lists, her book went straight in there because she spent 6 months launching it and getting people familiar with it. And she had this huge list to start off with. You know, she's a master at it, but she's been doing this over 10 years. And she's very pretty. She was a dancer, and she became a coach, and then she had to decide which one to do. And now she combines the two almost, because she keeps herself fit. She's been on Oprah, the whole kit and caboodle. She's just amazing. She's all hail Marie Forleo. I don't know if you've heard of Denise Duffield Thomas.
I'm connected to her. I have been for many years. Yeah.
Again, she started off as a book, made a course from the book. I think she's selling that for $1,500. She's now got enough money that she bought a rose farm in Australia, and she's doing retreats on her own rose farm. One of my goals is to go on that rose farm in Australia, because that would be really cool. And again, she spent years doing this, and hers started out, she was actually an Australian working in London, and she entered a competition, and she won this competition to travel around the world for a travel blog. And she actually spent time in Ireland and blogged about Ireland. And that started everything, because then she came back and it was like, well, what do I do now? And then she wrote her book, and then she became this money manifesting guru. But when you look at how she started out and how she does it now, you know, her first course, she didn't get many people on, but she persisted. And each year she gets more and more people on there. And she's an affiliate for Marie Forleo. So when Marie Forleo starts her course in March, April time, Denise Duffield Thomas is an affiliate selling it for her. So she's tapping into her email list as well. So these are how the people, and you got Amy Porterfield. So as I was going, because I stayed on there a bit too many minutes, the pop-up came up. The 3-step plan to getting your first 1,000 subscribers. It used to be, you know, get your first subscriber, your first 100. Now it's 1,000. Yeah, but this is where people, you know, it's an American thing where they're out to get you, and they will quite aggressive about it. Now, Yasmin, bless her heart, is literally down the road from me. She's a lass from North, I think, Lancashire. So she's a Brit as well. She's living in Carrick and Shannon. And this is about her third website. But when you scroll down, it's very clear what you're getting. So you're getting a free 8-page guide, 20 ways to engage your audience, create raving fans. And again, very simple, using Infusionsoft, I think. She's got her GDPR stuff in there, and you just sign up, and it's not quite at the top, but almost at the top. And you can see she's a mum. She was literally doing Facebook Lives at one stage, breastfeeding, because a third child came along, and she just got on with it. And she wrote her little book, and it's actually quite good. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll keep going. You said you wanted 10. So have you ever heard of lead pages?
No.
Is anybody else? No, Debbie has. Okay. There are some people who use lead pages to create these sort of pop-ups. So if you ever see a thing that says, you know, sign up now, and then a thing comes up and it says you're 50% of the way there, just put your email list. That's where it comes from. Okay, that's lead pages. So lead pages connects your website to your email list and creates really funky email opt-in boxes. Okay, and they're very effective at it, but again, you have to pay for it. Opt-in Monster is very similar, and again, I was on their website just having a quick nosy, and this came up. Ouch, that's abandonment. You know, get started and try and avoid it. So the problem they're solving is that people go to the website and then leave. So this is how we're going to stop you doing it. Now, if one of your problems is you don't know what to do for a lead magnet, and I'll just get rid of some of these a second. Then there are people who've got a solution for you. So I don't know if you've ever heard of a company called Piggy Make Bank. Right. They do PLR stuff. If you heard of me talk about PLR, private label rights, so they're like white label stuff. So they have, if you go down to the bottom of their page, they have loads of different freebies. So they do articles for you that you can then, so you can start off, if you think about when you do your blog, if somebody provided you with a first draft of the blog, and then you could just rewrite it in your own words, it would save you an awful lot of time. Okay, and they already have looked at the problem. So 7 ways to sleep better when you're stressed, 7 days to set smart goals. So that's a 7-day course that you could do. 7 days of gratitude, you know. They do articles and emails that you have, the articles on your website, your emails that you send out, and you just tweak them and personalize them. And you don't have to do anything else. It was, if you're really busy, or if you've got a virtual assistant, you can get them to do it for you. So you be careful, because people are buying these so they may see it. But at the same time, your audience and their audience are going to be different. Okay. And I use an awful lot of these in my, or I will be using an awful lot of these in my membership site. So if you're on my website and you see my different challenges, this is where they come from. So gradually I've bought these because the quality is really good, and it saves me a huge amount of time. So I've got a VA who actually puts them on the website for me, and it helps that, and it solves my problem. There's another company, and these are specifically for coaches. And again, the problem that they solve is, again, specifically aimed at coaches, providing them with content and providing them with courses and planners that you can then tweak and issue and sell as your own. So they have, for coaches, they've got a free client kit that you can download and get for free. So if you imagine all the different bits of paperwork, if you're starting out as a new coach, all those different things like the contract and the invoice, all those different forms, they'll send you a kit with all that in. Wow. That you just have to put your own logos on there, your own signatures, tweak it a little bit, and it's all done for you. Okay. And they do the courses, and you'll find an awful lot of stuff on my website from this as well, and in my membership site. And one of the downloads is based on some of this stuff as well. So I've just tweaked it because it's already there. So I've cheated. Okay. There's this other one, eKit Hub. So if you're doing the publishing stuff with me, then what they have is they have e-kits. So again, they're solving a problem where, you know, you're not quite creative. But one of the things that we're doing is we're doing card decks. And the problem they solve is, well, what do I put on the card deck? So with their card kindness kit, they give you, and again, free samples as soon as you click on anything. If you were doing a thing on kindness, they've got the printables that you can actually sell. They've got the colouring books. They've got the card decks. So you can download those images, put them onto Canva, personalise them, and you've got a whole new product. And they've got the journal as well, and they've got the planner. Wow. So you could do, you know, depending on what your business is, you could do a grief journal by tweaking something that somebody's already created. It saves you time. Offer it as a freebie on your website that they just download and then print off. But it's something of value. And then you could do some cards around that, you know.
Why don't we know about these sites? Why aren't they so easy to find? Because I've never come across anything like this.
Because it's one of those things where unless somebody tells you, you don't know about it.
Yeah.
And this is one of the peaks around my website, because if you were to go onto my website, so email marketing for authors, that's a course that I'm doing.
Just signed up for that again. I need a refresher.
This is my 5-day course, and it's on there. So this is the page that I created, but when I did the welcome page, it's there on the front now, because I was just copying what the Americans did. So you can see email marketing for authors, learn more, and then go down. And then there's another 5 simple ideas to clarify your book. Yeah, that's what it looks like, the download. That's what you have to do to get it. It's 12 pages. Very, very simple. And ultimately I'll have a few more on there. But my 2 key lead magnets will be my 5-day course and this 5-day course, and then every 3 months I'll do something different, and then every 3 months I'll run them again and again, so that I'll keep having the 3-month cycle. Okay. So an awful lot of stuff I've done in Canva, surprisingly enough. So there's my mock-ups. So I've uploaded that. I created that based on this one. And I bought a template for Canva for different book ideas and just tweaked it. So they're very similar in layout. But you can see all the different ideas I have for different that. So there will be, when I get around to it, a pre-publishing checklist, because then what I want to do is see where you are in your journey to publish your book. So if you are at the beginning of your journey, then you want to know how to clarify your book idea. If you've done that, you might want to know how to plan your book out. And if you've done that, you might want the book template. And if you've done that, you might want the pre-publishing checklist. So that tells me where you are in your journey, so that when I look at my email list and see where who's on what list, then I know where you are in your journey and what you need, and can target you accordingly. Okay. And I've got an affirmations thing as well. So I use MailerLite. I put this up on yesterday, and there's 28 visitors and 11 people have subscribed. So I think that's reasonably good. I haven't even published about the June challenge. It's just on my website, but 24 people have signed up to it. So I'm also quite pleased with that one. 300 people have gone on my website and seen the book idea, and 15 people have signed up to that one. That's not too bad. So there. So have I blinded you, scared
Wow.
you?
Wow. I think we're all speechless. We all need to have a lie down in a dark room with a bottle of gin, you know. Wow.
And it goes back to looking at best practice. Okay. And just thinking in terms of what it is the person wants. Okay. And just varying it. So I don't do my 5-day challenge every month. One, because it's exhausting, but two, people get bored of it. So I used to do a visibility challenge, and I was doing it almost every week, but I ran out of people to sign up to it, and they were getting bored of it. So I don't do that anymore. So it's just learning what works and what doesn't work. So by following with Marie Forleo, where she just runs her course once a year and spends the rest of the year marketing and getting people onto her email list, that is her business. You know, she's got people working in the background, but she is the front and center of her business. She's getting 10,000 people signed up to her course every year, and they're paying $2,500 to do it. So she, if you do the simple maths, she can afford it. She's got $1 million business, but her $1 million business is one course that's run over 8 weeks, another course that's run over 6 weeks that runs immediately afterwards. So she's actually running those courses over a 2-3 month period, and then spends 9 months of the year getting people onto her email list for the next lot. But because she also has people who are very happy with the course, they're sending them, and she's tapping into the affiliate market, because I got on her course via Denise Duffield Thomas, and I got Denise Duffield Thomas' course for free when I signed up. So, you know, there was value in that. So she's offering a huge amount to affiliates, but only people with a big list. So even though she has a big list herself, she's tapping into other people's big lists as well. So there's about 4 or 5 different people that I got emails from telling me about B School and offering me bonuses if I would sign up with them, because they were getting big affiliate bonuses from Marie Forleo.
Right. I think it's a realization that perhaps a lot of us are not allowing enough time to deliver a program. We should spend more time marketing and generating, you know, prospects to get onto that program, as opposed to doing it all last minute.
Yeah, I think for me the biggest turning point was seeing her with her book, because she literally spent 6 months telling people about it.
Wow.
And her goal was to get to number 1. I mean, she was with the publisher anyway. She'd been on Oprah before that, so she had all the connections in the media to get out there and be visible. But the first thing she did was she went on her email and said, I've got a book coming out, you can pre-order it now, 6 months in advance. And, you know, all we knew was the title at that stage. We didn't even have a book cover at that stage. Wow. We just had the title. But people were queuing up to buy it, and as soon as you showed her receipts, you got access to bonuses when they were coming out, and she had those bonuses set up. So her book became a lead magnet even before it was a lead magnet.
Wow. Right, so let's do a bit of a round robin then to see where people are at, you know. I think we're all dazed, thinking, how do we make sense of all this amazing information? So I'm going to come to you, Lara. Where are you at now, thinking of a lead magnet for one of the things that you do?
I think my issue is the process. I still don't understand how. I understand the concept all of that, actually the mechanics of how do I actually set up the MailChimp. I found setting up the MailChimp and getting that landing page up the most stressful thing I did last April.
I hate MailChimp. I hate MailChimp. I absolutely hated it. I was on there and I just couldn't work it out, and I just gave up and moved on to Aweber.
Yes, but that's the barrier. This bit isn't the barrier for me. I can get all of that, and I can see that I can do something, but the barrier is, how do I actually physically set this up?
Yeah,
that's the barrier.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else feels like that.
If we go into MailerLite, I mean, I moved to MailerLite earlier this year because it's free for the first 1,000 people. Okay, so it depends on the size of your mailing list. Everything up here is at the top. So you've got your subscribers, your sign-up forms, your automation. And with your subscribers, and I shouldn't do this because there are people's names on there, but you've got the different groups that you put people into. Okay, so you've got a list of emails, okay, and every group here is linked to a form. So that email marketing for authors is linked onto this form on my website.
So how do you do that? Is that simple? You just follow some instructions?
Karen, can we do this next week, the email part of it, because it's another technique? Because first of all, we've got to create the lead magnet that captures the email. So let's do the capturing the email first.
Okay.
Then next week, let's have a look at the email part of it, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, the email part of it, all you're trying to do is capture them. Okay, so it's creating the email magnet to start off with, and then looking at how you're going to promote it. So with me, I created the Canva, and I used the book cover, the lead book cover as the image that I was promoting. So people can see exactly what they get, and when they download it, that's what they get. And in the chat box, I've downloaded, or there is a download for you that will give you, what was it? It's a list of different email, different types of lead magnets, and there's a checklist as well for your lead magnet. So it's specifically for lead magnets. So you can download that from the chat box anyway. It's just 2 pages plus a cover on there. The one that I'm doing for the email marketing course, you get a freebie when you sign up, and that's about 27 pages. But again, it's one I bought from Coach Glue that I've tweaked and made for authors as opposed to somebody else. So I'm using pre-made stuff that somebody's already thought about what the problem is and changing it to solve the problem for my readers. So this was an email marketing thing for coaches, and I've turned it around to authors. So I've just had to reword everything, change the format, change the colouring. I mean, I can show you how I did it if you want to have a look at that. Would that help?
Well, I think we've got to do the round robin for everyone because we're running out of time. So I just want everyone to get to the stage this evening where they've chosen a lead magnet, because next week then we can concentrate on, we've got the lead magnet where people are then going to exchange an email address for it. And then next week we can explore with Karen then, okay, now we've got the email address, this is how we manage that process. Yeah,
I think for Laura, it's about getting that email list and getting it set up.
Yeah. So, and you might be better off if you don't want to go through that process, just employ a VA, because VAs can do this standing on their head. Yeah, why do it? Yeah, they have a VA to do it.
Sometimes you just got to delegate, but sometimes you got to get the right product. So MailChimp for me was a pain in the backside. It took me a while to get used to MailerLite, but now I know that how it works. It's much easier to use, and sometimes it's just easier to move.
Yeah.
You know.
So lead magnet, coming back to lead magnet, have you chosen your lead magnet now, Lara?
Well, I think it makes sense for me to do some kind of webinar challenge, something. Yeah. So I will work on that.
Lovely. So Beth, have you come up with a lead magnet for yourself?
Need to narrow down exactly what area I would focus on, not so much in terms of what the magnet is, but what I would be attracting people for, because I cover such a wide area. Yeah. So I need to do an awful lot more thinking, but checklist would be the simplest thing that I could put together quickly just to get something up there.
Right, checklist. Debbie, where are you at with creating a lead magnet?
Already looking at Coach Glue, and I'm looking at a journal. Nothing like starting big, but actually I can fill that out quite quickly with stuff. So yeah.
So Lana, what would your lead magnet be?
Well, I've got mine already up. So now for me, it's looking to see, are they, tempting enough for people to start dropping their email addresses. So there's 2 on my homepage now. So it's just to see what happens with them.
And when did you load them up?
The 7 steps to COVID, to helping you when coming out of COVID, went up a month ago, and the questionnaire went up 3 days ago.
Okay, and what has been the success of that?
I've got no idea, because I haven't had a look at my Aweber, but I do know I've had a couple of new subscribers, because Aweber does notify you when new subscribers join your list.
Right, okay. So could you give us a bit of advice on that then, Karen? Because, if we're loading up a lead magnet, how should we be keeping an eye on whether it's a good lead magnet? You're on mute, Karen.
Help see if I can talk. I have mine as a download on my website, so I can see how many times it's been downloaded. So some people may sign up for it but not click on the download. But then on the MailerLite, it tells you how many times people have clicked, and you have the option of putting on Google Analytics as well.
Okay.
So you can see if they clicked on that.
And what social media platforms are you using to drive them through to go for the lead magnet?
Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Okay, and which one works the best for you?
No idea. For me, I think it's Facebook, because I do a bit of LinkedIn, but because I've got people in my group, as soon as I told my group that I was running the course, they were the people that immediately said, I'm in. And literally within minutes, I had one person sign up, and that was in my Facebook group. So my Facebook group is almost like a community that's not on my email list, although most of them are on my email list now. Okay. So having them as a second, they knew what was there, but they will now, if you can create raving fans, they know what content was in my 5-day challenge for the book publishing. They're sort of drooling when it comes to email marketing, thinking, what can I teach them in 5 days with that? And that's in part because I gave so much information the first time around, another course, and they know how important it is because I keep telling them. So we can break it down. So yeah.
Okay, so taking a step back then, you've created a Facebook group, as you said, to create your drooling fans, yeah?
I've got 2 Facebook groups. I've got a free one and a paid one.
Okay.
So with the free one, any freebies, I send them to the free group. Okay. Anybody on the Master Self-Publishing course goes onto that group, and that's a paid course. So some people are on both, but the people who are in the free one, you know, they have to pay to get on the paid one. You know, that there is no way of getting on there. It's a secret one. Unless you have the link, you will not find it.
Okay.
It's not visible on my Facebook page.
Right.
Okay, I have to send you on it.
Okay, so looking at what's driving people, then you've got a paid Facebook group, you've got a free Facebook group, but you're also going out there generally under your name on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Those are the three platforms.
Yeah, I tend to use my personal profile rather than my business profile on Facebook. So although my business community is under my Facebook page, I still get an awful lot of people on my profile as well that I connect with. And you'll find that most people who are on the Master Self-Publishing course, I will send them a friend request so that they can get to know me as a person as well as the business, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they will see it on the personal one, on the page, because page one, you know, Facebook page, very, very few hits. Facebook group, definitely. They're very engaged because, you know, free stuff, I'll send them PLR stuff and let them know what's going on. And then we have the weekly Zoom call from the Master Self-Publishing where, you know, we've got loads of information goes out that way. So it's as much as, I think it's the whole thing. My business is built on kindness, and it's about giving people and giving people and keep giving. And then when I'm ready to say I'm doing something, then people quite happily refer people back to me.
Excellent. Lovely. Lovely. So many gems there. So many gems. I feel as though you've given us so many gems as part of that conversation. So over to you, Debbie. Where are you at now with lead magnets? Oh, we've covered you, haven't we? And we've gone to Beth. Lorna, we're going to come to you.
I think I've got one. I think my blog that I attached to my email is the lead magnet, and so the blog title is in the email address at the top. So hopefully the subject, they get free foot advice is what they're getting every quarter.
Your email list is bigger than mine, Lorna, so you're doing something right, even if it's you know.
Thank you.
It's working. And
it's been a while. I mean, I use MailChimp, but I got my website designer to set it up for me. So I've then got the template, because like you, I would struggle with anything like that. So he set me up with an email list of my past patients, and then I've got this template. Each month, each quarter, I put up a new foot advice blog, which I then upload to my website. So that goes out to everyone. But then underneath, I'm talking about all the new products I want to sell them. So, and also if someone does buy something from me, I've got a leaflet with the return slip at the bottom. But on that leaflet, again, I'm asking people, if you want more information about foot health advice, you can sign up to the email, and then of course put it on the home page.
Lovely, 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 lovely. Suzanne, what about your lead magnet now? Have you chosen a lead magnet?
Well, I've used them in the past, but I absolutely, after tonight, realised I've got to do some work on my website. And in the past, I've put a free download for hypnotherapy, and they have to put their email address in for it. And I've just been a bit preoccupied, shall we say, for a while. But there's nothing stopping me using that again. And I've taken so many notes, and I see the benefits of what I've heard tonight. So yes, that's kicked me a bit. And so websites. Yes.
I'd like to go around everybody again, because we've learned more than just lead magnets this evening. I'd like to know what your gem of learning has been this evening, and how is that going to alter how you do what you do? Because Karen has imparted so much, including affiliate marketing, introduced us to women who are doing lots of different things, what social media platforms she uses, how she uses groups, you know, there's just been so many gems of learning there. I'd like to know from you, what have you learned from Karen this evening over and above the lead magnets, and how are you going to put that to work in your business? Well, I feel as though I want to watch the recording straight away to go over it all again and go back to all those websites that you referred us to. You know, I just feel as though I could do with half a day's revision now on what you've told us. So I'm going to come to you first, Lara. What have you learned this evening out of all of that stuff, and what are you going to do straight away?
Yes, so much, Karen. Thank you so much. I knew about one of those because on your master, on the beta course, but yes, I mean, you gave us some absolute gems there about the ready-made stuff, and I had forgotten that actually, because obviously I sent you that message, didn't I, about ebooks. I'd forgotten about that. So yes, I think it's about allocating, you know, you say what we're going to do straight away. Well, straight away, it's about allocating some time to actually look at that. That's the most important thing, to look at that. But I think the main thing that I think I've taken from Karen is that one thing does not fit all. I mean, we must find what's right for us.
Yeah.
And just because everybody else is doing a checklist or a downloadable, that might not be right. And I hadn't thought, I really hadn't sort of given the value to the videos. And of course and I know Lana's gone on to me before about my videos, but I perhaps haven't seen the worth of that huge bank of videos that I have done and made over the last year. And really, if I go back through them, there probably is already something there. So maybe I need to work a bit smarter and actually just look back at the videos that I have got. And then actually my learning is learning the process, setting it up, isn't it? I think it's just when people talk about landing pages and stuff, it's but you know, you've made it so simple. So yes, take away from you, simple, cool, calm, do what's right for me.
Well done. Lana, what have you learned this evening you're going to put to work straight away?
Actually, it sounds really simple, but it's very effective, is I am going to go and change the image behind my opt-in form, because when Karen was saying about having the sort of Canva image of the actual opt-in, the checklist, so that's what I'm going to change, and actually put a photo of the checklist on that opt-in so that they're seeing what they're getting, not just reading what they're getting.
Lovely. Great idea. Debbie, over to you. What are you going to do straight away?
Well, you know, I completely agree with Lara about the, you know, landing page and all that stuff, because I've never actually seen any of these different concepts that we now need to know, you know, for creating our funnels written down in a list that's in the right order. Because you go and look at different people's idea of how to create a funnel and they all do it differently. So that is so confusing. And what Karen's given us tonight has just simplified so much. So it's actually taken a lot of the fear away. And it's the fear of not getting it right and making a complete ass of myself, you know, and not giving myself the best start. But actually, you know, she's guided us to Coach Glue, and I've had a look at that, and it's amazing. I only glanced through it, but it's absolutely amazing. But what that will give me is something so tangible. So that's what I'm off to do, is to convert. And in fact, they've got 2 for the price of 1 there, so I might even do that and have 2 different ones.
And I can remember, here's a little tip for you, Deb. When I first set up I Am Woman, I thought technology is just too complicated for me.
Yeah.
So I thought, if I do what I need to do in my pajamas, yeah, it's not technology.
No, that's right. But you see, I already do that when I am up at 5 o'clock in the morning and bright and breezy. I do 2 hours in my PJs.
It's not technology then, if you do
No,
in your PJs.
No,
really
and then I go and get decent, and then I'm ready for the business meeting. My business meeting head on then, but I've done a couple of hours then quite nicely.
Because I can remember, you know, 10 years ago when setting up I Am Woman, I thought, I'm going to see if I can get 100 people joined up to Iron Woman before we launched, and we actually got 1,000 in a week signed up. And it was just, you know, I think people just want to be part of the energy. So I think, you know, creating an energy around what you do is really important too. So over to you, Beth. What have you learned from all these amazing tips from Karen?
I think I'm with Lara a bit in that I've got quite a lot of material that I can reuse. I don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of things that I've not necessarily used in public, but that I use directly with clients that could be slightly repackaged. So I think rather than starting from scratch with something new, I'm going to go back over things that I've already got and maybe forgotten that I've got, and see if I can't just reuse materials that are already there.
Yeah, well done. Yeah. I bet we've all got mountains of stuff. And it could be like a business plan form. It could be a checklist, a video piece. There's just so much stuff we've all got. And I bet it's just lurking in the files in the computer somewhere that we need in some ways to repurpose. Blogs, yeah, got it all. Lorna, over to you. What will you put to work straight away?
Well, I think I now know what a lead magnet is. That was helpful. And it's just reinforced that it's nice to know that what I'm doing is right. What I thought was quite interesting, very specifically, was this pop-up idea. Because the thing that really annoys me when I'm searching on Google and I go onto a website is before I can even scan the first page, I get a pop-up saying sign up to our mailing list. And I haven't even managed to work out what the company's about. But I like the idea of a pop-up as you leave.
Yeah.
And I wondered about asking my IT people to perhaps add that in. I don't know how the other ladies feel. If you had a pop-up as you leave, would that possibly entice you?
Yeah.
It's far more acceptable than at the beginning. I'm exactly like you. I always knock them off at the beginning because I want to know what the company's about first.
Yeah.
So if I think enticing them in and then go, whoa, actually, don't forget us on the way out, is much kinder.
I mean, my biggest problem is that I give all this advice and I see people face to face and I have an amazing website with lots of information, and people then go and buy from QVC or Amazon. And I've had that happen to me this week, and I'm just absolutely gutted. So someone will come to me, I give them lots of advice about whatever foot condition, they go away, and I say, I think you would benefit from this, this, and this product. And they go, yes, okay. And then I say, right, I do a follow-up email. What do you think about this to help you? How are you getting on? I said, oh, yes, great. Thanks very much. I bought so-and-so on the internet.
Would you think about being an affiliate for Amazon? So that if you sent them from Amazon to Amazon on your website, that, you know, because they're online and you know they're going to do it anyway, if you don't want to buy this from me, then this is the product I would recommend on Amazon. And just as a disclosure, I will get a certain percentage of that.
I don't do it on Amazon because I don't like Amazon. I do it with a podiatry company. I get 10%. So I do that. But of course, Amazon, people will buy from Amazon. So, and they'll buy from QVC. So they are funding the CEO's multi-million super yacht, not me.
Yeah.
And I find the disloyalty very tough.
Thank you, Lorna. Thank you.
I was
So
just
over
going to ask, is there no way you could offer some kind of incentive to get them to come back to buy from you? Like a collection of vouchers towards a free product and a certain amount of time.
Well, I'd like to think that the free advice they got is incentive enough.
Wow, yeah.
I'm local and they can come and try things on. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's something that I'm sure other people have found as well. They give the free advice and people go elsewhere.
Could you do a loyalty card for them?
I do offer a discount if people buy a lot of a particular product. I have to say, yes. It's unofficial, but I do.
You do. You're very good. Thank you.
So, for example, yes. So you of course, because you're lovely and give me lots of new ladies. Yeah, I do. But I don't make it official.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lorna. And over to you, Suzanne. I know you've taken lots of notes, but what are you going to do straight away? What's burning inside you?
Well, one of the biggest things is to read through some of the different people, Jeff Walker, different things like that, and also to look and see what I can change slightly from what other people have already done. The fact I don't have to put all that time in, if it's something to do with a lead magnet that correlates with what I'm talking about, that's just great to be able to just tweak and get it out there.
Lovely. Okay, thank you very much. So, Karen, you've been an absolute superstar tonight. We've all gone away with lots and lots of ideas. Oh yeah, let's give Karen a round of applause. It's been amazing. And next week, we're going to take this subject further and look at how then we're going to, we've got the email address. What are we going to do as far as then convert this email, taking people ever closer to what it is we're promoting and wanting to sell. So before we go offline, Karen, could you make me host so I can capture the recording? Because I'm sure then we're going to, I'll send this out to you latest by tomorrow. And then we can all have a chance to review all these fantastic websites and start thinking about how we're going to build up this lead magnet, get it up onto our website, even learn how we can measure its success, and then convert it then into emails and how we're going to do this email stuff. So thank you again, Karen. And yeah, look forward to seeing you all next week. And we'll get ever closer to start converting more and more and more customers. But thank you all for joining. Poor Kathy's lost her signal, so she's waiting for the recording. So we'll see Kathy next week as well. But good night, everyone, and stay safe. Thank you all for joining in this evening. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Lovely to see you.
Bye-bye. Bye, Lorna. So have you made me host, Karen? You're on mute.
How do I do that again? Is it?
So you just go up to my name. More.
Oh, right, 3 dots there.
Yeah.
I got you. Thank you.
You're lovely. So I can stop the recording.
Yay!